So that SUV had one brake light or one tail light, and you see they're getting closer to me. It's 2:43 now. So my phone had fell. I mean, it nearly fell. It's fucking ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, I was trying. I mean, my phone had fell, and then it fell, and then turned off. And I think the perp didn't want evidence. So the perp the white white SUV that just passed by. So it has to be a fucking noise competition between me having like a competition of who can freaking talk the loudest with these people trying to scream and overtalk me. So, I mean, I gotta have a fucking screaming match with random strangers on my own fucking video. Yeah, but it's like they're trying to talk as loud as they can on purpose. If I wasn't trying to do a video and say something important, then, they wouldn't even be over here. Or they wouldn't even be talking so loud. So what I was trying to say was, so, I mean, I possibly could have been in a shelter tonight, but they said that was the only one bed left. Usually they don't have any beds. They usually don't have any beds, but come on. I mean, they fucking screaming. They're talking loud and screaming real loud. During the daytime, that's how it is with this gang stalking. People are more quiet during the day than at nighttime. Even when you're living in a neighborhood or have your own place to live, if you're a targeted individual, come on. If you're a targeted individual, they're quiet during the day and then wait until after nighttime to act like as if night is day and day is night. They wait till after nighttime to make all the damn noise. See, like, so I mean, but I'm surprised that shelter was, I mean, it's not easy to just go to a shelter and get a bed. So, certain other shelters, you can't just walk in and then, get a bed. Sometimes they make you wait and do an intake. They make you wait and they make you do an intake. And then after they make you wait and do an intake, and then it might take a while, like even a couple of weeks, or sometimes they might even have a waiting list for a shelter. So, you can't always walk into any and every shelter and just walk in and get a bed. I mean, even at the one of the shelters in New Orleans and stuff, you were not guaranteed a bed every night. So, but yeah, as I said, the condition of the bunk bed was the reason why, I could, and that was the last one, the only one left. And it was in a crowd full of women. So if you were a targeted individual and you at a shelter, they mob you out. They bully and they mob you out of there, But I was impressed and shocked at how clean. I was surprised at how clean everything was, But I had asked, like, what happened to that women with clear vision shelter? Women with clear vision. And I heard that they moved over to Olive Road or something and then eventually shut down. And I'm like, what? So I mean, I did hear that they shut down, and they needed to freaking shut down. And Heavenly Blessings they also need to shut down. So so yeah, Heavenly Blessings needs to be investigated and shut down. So I cannot go to Heavenly Blessings. It's not habitable or safe to, and I don't see. I guess only the freaking druggies go stay there. But that was my first two, or I know it was definitely 2 nights, but probably 3 nights that I stayed there, and the police were there ritualistically every fucking morning, like every damn day. Somebody, the police was called, and everybody going to jail for this, that reason, and then they try to drag everybody in the shelter. It's for something that I have no clue. I'm freaking new here. I mean, I ain't got nothing to do with her going to jail. So, and then they keep tabs and very controlling. And Heavenly Blessings is a cult, a dangerous cult. So you can't go there. So, yeah, I mean, that top bunk, the ladder with the top bunk, the ladder and the rail on the top bunk was very loose. But those men made it like it was normal or nothing wrong with that, you know. But I guess they don't give a damn because nobody really care about homeless. Well, I guess normal people don't. But yeah, this men running a woman. I mean, like, where's the female shelter staff? Maybe they do have some, but you know, I don't know what's going on with that. But I don't know if it's men and women or just women, or I didn't see any kids, but it was a small room with women. But it's yeah, I mean, where women with clear vision used to be located, and it's like, I mean, it's where women with clear vision used to be located, and so I kind of felt like re-traumatized all over again, because women with clear vision a couple of years ago, they mobbed me and bullied me. Wait. They mobbed and bullied me out of the shelter, and I was forced to be back on the streets and be walking on Christmas Day, Christmas morning. I had to walk a long walk, and I had to walk a long walk on Christmas Day, and then that was 2019. So people were even saying how corrupt women with clear vision is, but it's like these corrupt shelters. It's like I don't see how they get such great Google reviews. You know, I mean, I think women with clear vision was where they clapped and were glad for me to they clapped and were glad for me to leave out of there. You know, and then they had a shelter, I can't think of the name at the moment, in Mobile, Alabama, and the physical structure in the place, you know, looked identical, and it was structured and ran just like women with clear vision. And they also operated with like a cult and was trying to take your money. And when the beginning of the, you know what happened in 2020, they also mobbed me out of there. You know, and I hate when you got to pay to stay in a shelter, but they got like a big ass laundry list of rules and some unspoken rules, just like a cult. And if you pay to stay there, but then you can't come and go as you please, and also you can't bring outside food. You can't have your cell phone. You can't eat what you want. And well, they won't let me have my earbuds and MP3 player to block out noise. And it's like, well, how people next to me, they can have a cell phone with them, but then they confiscate my cell phone, and they try, some shelters, they treat you like a prison, and they confiscate all of your belongings. Like, you got to pay to stay there, and you paying to live in prison every night. And it's like fucked up. And it's like some people are not even questioning, and all they do is be like, follow the rules, and they're just really upsetting. I'm just letting y'all know the reality of how shelters operate. And a lot of the shelter residents, they freaking jealous bullies. They're narcissistic, jealous bullies, and they kiss ass to get to the top. More like a hierarchy. Excuse me, a hierarchy. And they want to climb to the top and try to kiss the staff's ass. It's a freaking like a high school popularity contest all over again. Like a popularity contest all over again, with the shelters and stuff. But I mean, I really didn't even want to go in there, but I was impressed and shocked. I mean, because of what I went through with Women with Clear Vision and Heavenly Blessings and all those other shelters, like shelters in New Orleans, I mean, shelters in South Carolina, shelters in New Orleans, shelters in Los Angeles. So I guess I've been, well, other than Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I've pretty much been homeless and in a shelter in every city and state I lived in, pretty much. Aside from Milwaukee, but Hurricane Katrina, I'm not counting that. But I was even in shelters in New York. Shelters in my hometown, New Orleans, and then I just said what I said about Milwaukee, but then with New York City, yeah, I stayed in shelters there, and then stayed in shelter in Denton, Texas before, and then stayed in shelters in Los Angeles, stayed in shelter in Greenville, South Carolina, stayed in shelter in my hometown, New Orleans, again. I've experienced shelters here in Pensacola. So, I mean, but of course, Pensacola, I can't believe it's something got to be wrong, because Pensacola is the only city that I've been in, and just I mean, I couldn't even get a place. Well, after they booted me off the Section 8, I mean, the Section 8 home that I was, well, homes with an S, because they community mobbed me every Section 8 place I try to live in. They would community mob me in every place I try to live in, So if they community mob me every place I try to live in. So they mob you out of shelters. They mob you out of a place, an apartment or a house you're living in. Even if you own your own house, they'll try to boot you up out of there. And so they'll boot you up out of there, out of your own house and stuff. So so yeah, that man, he made me go up in there. I didn't want to go up in there because, as I said, past traumatic, bad experiences with homeless shelters, and I'm like, what make this one be any better? And it's like that Melissa perp the lady who's been all over the news. How come she didn't tell me about that place? Well, she lied and said that these people could help get me straight up housing or whatever. I mean, and she was a perp. So I was like, how the hell you a perp? And I mean, y'all saw those ladies in that video, I mean, they looked like they were on freaking drugs, and they look rough and raggedy and on drugs. But then, how the hell you get like professional, positions with jobs with homeless, and you treat people like shit? So I mean, that lady lied to me and said that if I went over to the office, then they could have, give me help with getting a place. Instead, I didn't realize that was a freaking homeless camp that she was. Come on, stop. I mean, she was saying that they could help me with rent and utilities and stuff to get me a place. But she's been like plastered all over the. See, they're doing this. You hear that loud vehicle roaring? See, I could have said what I needed to say in 5 fucking minutes. So, I mean, the fact that they were bullying you out of a homeless shelter, even if you pay to stay there, they bully you out of the shelter and they clap and rejoice, They clap and rejoice when you get mobbed out of there. And then also, stop. They clap and rejoice after they drove me to get frustrated and fed up and then leave. So, and then that same man who forced me to go up in there to see about any shelter bed availability, later on he was telling me about Joe Patty's. And I said, well, I mean, Joe Patty's, I said, I basically don't have no respect for them because they refuse to hire homeless to work. And he's like, he smart-assly say, their prerogative. Like he said it was their prerogative. And then he started to lecture me about Florida laws and stuff. So, I mean, he started to lecture me about Florida's right to work laws and saying that they can hire and fire you anytime they want and that they don't have to have a reason to fire you and this and that, whatever. And they don't have to, they don't have to have a reason to hire and fire you and stuff. So he was trying to say that Florida is one of those states with the right to work laws or whatever. But wait, I thought right to work meaning that we all have a right to have opportunity to work. And so, I mean, workplace discrimination is real. And blacklisting is real. I mean, but he made me, not like him anymore for that. I mean, made me, lose respect for him with that. I mean, and so, this is how twisted people are. How you say that, employers have a right to not hire you because you're homeless, or they have a right to not hire homeless if they don't want to. But then y'all the first to say that somebody's lazy and don't want to work and that they don't want to get a job. And so, people would tell me that the foster mom started to say that before I even got my first job. She would narcissistically cut her eyes and say, nobody is going to hire you. And then every narcissistic abuser would tell me nobody's going to hire you. And then when it come to apartment renting and stuff, in Denton, Texas, I dealt with a slumlord, an abusive slumlord. And yeah, the people who had my back, they were saying that I should refuse to pay the rent and get like some kind of legal way to put the funds in an escrow account or something like that. I don't know much about that, but they say to put it in the escrow account until the rent. I mean, until the repairs get fixed, and then hold the landlord accountable, pretty much. But narcissistic abusers made it like as if I was the one who was in the wrong. And then just like with saying nobody's gonna hire you with employment, they'll say what rental and apartments, they'll say nobody's gonna rent to you. You know. And also I was mad that the man who was training me for the job, you know, he had a customer that ate somewhere. And it's like I didn't even want, I mean, it's like he made me eat somewhere where I didn't want to eat. You know, just so he can buy me a freaking 89-cent soda. I mean, I don't even drink sodas no more. You know, but he wanted to buy me an 89-cent soda at Circle K. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't even I mean, and I didn't even want to eat, you know, any food from Circle K. You know, I wanted to eat someplace. I mean, and it's like, well, if he was stopping with the customer, if she was stopping to eat there, you know, me and that customer, we could have ordered together. I mean, our own separate food, but you know, he could have ordered. He could have, you know, let me order. I mean, it took just a quick 5 minutes. So I think that was him trying to be narcissistic and controlling. You know, just so he can buy me an 89-cent 32-ounce soda from Circle K, in which I didn't want that. You know, but then I bought my own little chicken sandwich, in which I didn't want that either. A chicken sandwich and a payday for freaking lunch. So I didn't even want that. I didn't even want to eat that. You know, I mean, I'd be trying to stay away from nowadays, I try to stay away from Circle K food. I try to stay away from Chick-fil-A, you know, and that little chicken sandwich, it was chicken with a lot of pickles, a chicken sandwich with a lot of pickles on it, and it tasted almost very similar to Chick-fil-A. But, you know, and I don't even know how much that sandwich was, because that and the payday, I felt like no way in hell was that supposed to be $7 or something. But I don't know, we were in a rush, I guess. But I had to use the bathroom so many times. So it's like, I'm so sorry for the freaking distractions. I mean, as I said, I just wanted to make a quick 5 minutes, and it turned out to be, shucks, over 30 minutes with two videos that split. And then, you know, me being distracted and set back by noise and stuff, when I could have just said what I needed to say in a quick 5 minutes. But my anxiety was really high, and I just came on here because of my anxiety being high, and I couldn't go back to sleep. Can y'all hear me with these roaring loud ass truck noises? But yeah, I mean, what, all those YouTube views, that's like a lot of freaking increase of stalker haters. That is, it's like they are rubbing their hands together, wanting to watch my demise. So, the online perps, they're hoping I get hurt by these They're hoping I get hurt by exposing the perps in person. They're hoping that I get hurt by them. They're hoping that I get hurt for exposing an in-person perp. They're hoping I get hurt one day. And then they lie and say that they're concerned for my safety. And then they try to justify reasons why. Oh, this is the reason why I must follow Candy. Or this is the reason why I have to stalk Candy. Or, but I mean, it's not your duty to freaking try to police my life. So, man, this is abnormal. At freaking, it's 3:09 a.m. in the morning. It's 3:09. I mean, it's after 3 o'clock in the morning. Ain't no way should it be this much heavy noise and traffic. It's traffic at 3 o'clock in the morning. Y'all see that? I never heard of no shit like that. So y'all hear that? So it's very cloudy out here. It's very cloudy, and I have to pee again, and it's supposed to rain all day today. It's supposed to rain all day. So I don't know if I can get a free hotel room night, and I don't know if I can do it on a Friday or the weekend. If I can get a free hotel room night, But one thing I hate about this supposed independent contractor job, if I get it, come on, man. I mean, come on. So with this independent contractor job, if I get it, I hate that I can't just randomly work when I want to or when I feel like it. It seems like I guess you pick your own schedule, but you got to stick to it. And it seems like the littlest thing off, it seems like you can easily get fired for this and that and this and that, whatever. And this company, they definitely participate in gang stalking. And one of the vehicles, it was another perp with one hit. Remember I told y'all in a couple of videos ago that the lady was saying that that you can get pulled over or you get in trouble for one headlight. Well, this company, some of the drivers, they freaking drive by with one headlight, perping me, and they damn sure don't get pulled over. And when I got in the truck with the SUV with the man who was training me, and then when I got in the truck, the man who was training me, it's like he tried to talk about how brag about how much of a flirt he is and that he can't help it. I'm like, come on, man. And, make it like he was telling dirty jokes and stuff. He said he used to be in the Navy or whatever. And he said, mentioned something about having a lot of heart attacks and strokes and stuff. I'm like, damn. But anyway, there was another driver who had one headlight. He had one headlight and and pulled off, and, like he was waiting for us, and pulled off and drove out. He pulled off and drove off right after it was confirmed that we got in the SUV, you know. And he was the other guy was in a car. And then, see, look at this guy passing by here. Sneaky motherfucker. Where you come from? So, see, that was a perp. See, that's why I don't be feeling safe. So, yeah, I mean, that, and that man, he was freaking, like, blasting loud music and smoking, even after I told him that both of those things bother me. And I just couldn't wait for the freaking, the training was over. I couldn't wait for the training to be over, because, yeah, he was blasting loud music and smoking. And then later on, he just didn't give a fuck. He just started really taking advantage of it. And like, I really hate people having, like, disregard for my hypersensitive ears, or me not wanting to be around smoking and cigarette smell and all that, you know. And then he wants to talk about, oh, I treat everybody the same. I treat everybody the way they want to be treated, whatever, you know. But, I look back and realized that none of my meals, well, I'm going to say yesterday, because it's a new day, it's Friday now, but yesterday, all 3 of my meals, none of them were